Can you actually make a guitar sound older and more worn in without years of playing it? This little gadget claims that you can. Some players swear by it, others call it snake oil, but what exactly is it and what does it do? This is the Tone Traveler by Dr. Herringbone, and before you ask, no, I am not sponsored or affiliated by this company. This is going to be a 100% honest take here, and the purpose of this device is to make your guitar sound broken in without having to play it for years upon years. It uses this little speaker here that attaches to your bridge and it sends vibrations through your instrument, much like it would if you were playing it, to help loosen up the wood and open your tone up faster. Normally, your guitar sounds better over the years the more that you play it. The Tone Traveler is supposed to speed up that process. Today I'm testing this device out on the Billy Strings DX2E signature model. I'm interested to see the results because this has a solid spruce top but HPL back and side. So we'll see if this does impact it. Also, this is a Bluegrass channel, so subscribe if you're into this type of content. Also, if you're wanting to learn Bluegrass guitar but you don't know where to start, maybe you're a beginner or intermediate, you can play but you can't wrap your head around the Bluegrass style, check out Flatpick Foundations down below in the description. That's my beginner-friendly Bluegrass guitar course. It's helping hundreds of students around the world finally understand how to play Bluegrass. Also, if you'd like the free mini course, check that out in the description as well. But before we get to the test, I want to talk a bit about the controversy and drama surrounding this device, because I'd heard through the grapevine that this thing has ruffled a handful of feathers in the Bluegrass realm. But when I did my research, I was surprised to find out that it's not for the reasons that I initially assumed. I thought that folks were sour to this device because it's kind of quote-unquote unpure to aid your guitar in a way other than just playing it, right? Because you can play guitar and over time you are going to get a better sound from it. In fact, one of my first musical memories was seeing acoustic guitars propped up against bass amps at some of my family's and cousins' jam sessions because they were trying to open up the sound of their acoustic guitars. So that's why I was surprised when I was reading all across internet comment sections that there's a lot of folks that just think this thing is a complete gimmick. The placebo effect applies to gadgets. Save your money. Seemed like a gimmick solving a problem nobody had. A fool and his money are easily parted. Italicized. Nah, it's all in your head. We guitar players are suckers for old gimmicky toys. When you run out of guitar gear to spend money on. I've worked hard for the money I've spent on guitars and the guitars I have. I cherish them. There's no way I'd hang the weight of this on my strings, pulling against the bridge pins and bridge, especially buzzing. I can't see where this is good for the guitar. Placebo effect, if anything. But still, it's not hard to find other comments from folks that are finding this device to be very useful and valuable. I can honestly say it has helped every instrument I've tried it on. Oh, it works. I bought one for my recently acquired Bourgeois Brian Sutton LE that had not been played much. After a week of 6 hours at night, I'm impressed with the results. It is legit. I love this device. I don't find it loud and it does exactly what I paid for. 5 stars for the Tone Traveler. I'm gonna test this 2 different ways. First, I'm gonna strum a G chord. It's gonna be really hard to emulate like some flat picking. I want this to be as scientific as possible. I'm gonna have everything microphone-wise set up the exact same. Try to give you guys a good sort of demonstration here of what it might sound like. The other thing that I'm going to test is just the vibration of the guitar itself, once at the beginning of the experiment and once at the end. That should give us a more scientifically minded reading about what this has done to the tone and how this would sort of reacting against the vibration of the machine. And don't forget to share all your thoughts about this down below in the comment section.
2 hours later.
Okay folks, it's the next day, I've had a shave. Let's talk about our findings here. So first things first, I thought that the first part of the experiment was less conclusive than the second part, which I'll get to in just a second. Reason being is that I can't strum that G chord exactly the same. Therefore, we're gonna have variations in both the sound and what you see on that EQ waveform that are just out of our control. I'm gonna play the two again closer together back to back in just a second. My opinion is that even though we can't see it on that wave formation, I think the second one after 2 hours with the Tone Traveler does sound more full. That's all I can really say. I'm no expert at this. It certainly felt a little different. I know you guys can't feel it there at home. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Again, I just think that it sounds a bit better. Not by a large margin, but a bit better. Here it is. Okay, for the second part, remember, I was just recording the vibrations of the guitar. Yes, I think Lessons with Marcel did this as well. I just set up the camera, microphone, turned it on, recorded it right when I put on the Tone Traveler, then left for 2 hours, came back, turned on the microphones, and recorded what you heard. Now, before I replay them, this is a screenshot of the before guitar on top and after the Tone Traveler on the bottom. And what I heard and what we can see here is that there is a bit more low end. On your left side of the screen on that graph represents the low end of the guitar, and on the right is the higher end. And we can see that there is a difference, and that's really what I expected. I couldn't see a whole lot in the higher end. The curve or the wave itself definitely looks a bit more balanced. Again, I'm no expert, but it does sound like there's a bit more bass, or there's noticeable more bass response in the second vibration. All right, let's listen to that. Okay folks, let me know everything you thought about this experiment down in the comment section. There's more guitars to be tested. We could hook this up for longer periods of time. That might get a little complicated here in the studio, but let me know. And if you are looking to learn bluegrass guitar, maybe you're wanting to pick up a new hobby, you've always thought that bluegrass sounds cool, but there's no way in the world you could play it. Well, I think you might be wrong, and that's because there's tons and tons of students inside of my beginner-friendly bluegrass guitar course, Flatpick Foundations, that are finally learning how to play bluegrass. Yay! I think it's really cool that there's folks, hundreds of them at this point, from all over the world that are really getting value, finally finding a set of instructions that progresses them further in their bluegrass playing or guitar playing, instead of just confusing them, which is what I hear from a lot of the students when they've taken lessons or maybe try to learn from other content. So it's called Flatpick Foundations. Do check it out down below. Tons of testimonials. There's some sample lessons on the website. If that's not your thing and you just want to kind of test the waters, there's a free mini course also in the description. Folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye-bye.